Cambodia, a Southeast Asian country, and this is China. These two countries do not share a common border. To reach China, Cambodia must pass through the territory, airspace, or maritime zone of another country. The same applies in the reverse direction. But recently, China has been emerging as a new power in Cambodia. Infrastructure development projects such as roads, airports, urban areas, and even stadiums mostly bear the mark of China. In that context, Cambodia has become a paradise for mainland mafia. Why is it called that? Because this term is used to distinguish them from criminal groups from Hong Kong or elsewhere, the most famous probably being the Triads. So what have the Chinese done in Cambodia, and what is their number? It can be said that the Chinese community in Cambodia is growing and plays an important role in the country's economy. Estimates suggest that the number of Chinese or ethnic Chinese in Cambodia is over 300,000 people, accounting for about 3 to 5% of the. This number could be even higher because not everyone is officially counted. The presence of Chinese people in Cambodia is not new. They have been coming for centuries, mainly from southern Chinese provinces like Fujian and Guangdong. This history is long-standing. Chinese people have been flocking to Cambodia since the 13th century. Most of them came for trade or to seek job opportunities. They quickly integrated and became an indispensable part of Cambodia's economy. Many ethnic Chinese families in Cambodia make a living through trade, from small shops to large enterprises, thereby influencing the country's economy. In Cambodia, if you ask who owns many shops, hotels, or real estate, it's certainly the Chinese. For ethnic Khmer of Chinese descent, especially in recent years, the number of Chinese doing business has increased very rapidly, particularly in Phnom Penh and Sihanoukville. The city of Sihanoukville is even jokingly called Little China, because many Chinese companies invest in projects like casinos, hotels, restaurants, and the workforce is mainly Chinese as well. Cambodia is currently considered a lucrative target for Chinese investors, with the close relationship between the two governments facilitating a flood of Chinese projects, especially projects involving large corporations, such as infrastructure, highways, bridges, new urban areas. All have Chinese involvement, bringing thousands of Chinese workers to work there. Culturally, the Chinese in Cambodia also bring their customs and traditions. Chinese cuisine is ubiquitous, with Chinese restaurants all over Phnom Penh, or maintaining traditional festivals like Lunar New Year and Ghost Festival. If you go to Chinatown in Phnom Penh, you'll see a dense population of Chinese people, and from eateries to trading shops. Everywhere you see the imprint of Chinese culture with Chinese characters and language. Alongside honest business people, there are also bad elements. They come to Cambodia to seek new opportunities and consider it their paradise. Cambodia and China are very friendly, with open governments and extensive economic cooperation. Thanks to this, many Chinese people have flocked here but along with that comes some negative factors, such as criminal gangs. This allows mainland mafia to easily slip in without strict control. One reason Cambodia has become an ideal destination for mafia is due to the weak legal system here. The door is wide open and Cambodia may not be ready for this. Gangs from China and Cambodia set up illegal gambling and fraud establishments, organizing illegally without encountering many obstacles. When China invests capital in Cambodia, not only money but also many workers follow. But many of them are people working illegally. No proper documentation or being tricked here with the promise of a high salary, then being forced to work in criminal networks. This is even true for Vietnamese people. And we also had to rescue countless Vietnamese people to Cambodia. A typical example is online scam networks. Chinese mafia gangs hire hundreds of workers to make scam calls to defraud money from all over the world. These employees are often locked in buildings no different from prisons, had to work under the close supervision of the bullies. If they do not meet the fraud targets, they are beaten or sold to other organizations. Many Vietnamese people have been tricked into going to Cambodia and then had to call for help. Besides traditional crimes such as gambling or human trafficking, Chinese mafia gangs are also very adept at exploiting technology to carry out online fraud. They established centers in the new urban areas, focus on appropriating money from online applications. These fraudulent schemes not only affect victims in Cambodia but also around the world. And really a lot of people are getting scam calls. They're in debt or breaking the law. then asked to transfer money to resolve it. The victim didn't even know that the person behind the screen was sitting somewhere in Cambodia. To have a typical example, the most prominent and clearest example of this. Then come to Sihanoukville, the city of Chinese imprints. Sihanoukville is still jokingly referred to as a Little China in the heart of Cambodia. And this is certainly not unfounded rumors. Sihanoukville is a coastal city located in the southwest of Cambodia. It is located on a peninsula extending into the Gulf of Thailand, but surrounded by many beaches as well as tropical forests. A very typical city in southern Cambodia. Sihanoukville's geographical location is very strategic because it has a seaport. And this is Cambodia's rare deep water port, named Sihanoukville Port. It helps this city become an important gateway for the trade of goods. We already know that in transportation, maritime transport remains not only trading goods with countries in the region but also in the whole world. More specifically, Sihanoukville is located away from Cambodia's capital, just over 200 kilometers and takes about 4 to 5 hours by road. In terms of area, this city has an area of approximately 868 square, including urban areas, suburban regions, and offshore islands. That is the area corresponding to Bac Ninh province of our country. This city has a very familiar name, because it is named after King Norodom Sihanouk. The king is highly respected by the Cambodian people. Initially, in the 1950s, the construction of the seaport started relatively small. But then it gradually developed. The former name of this city is Kampong, and it was officially renamed Sihanoukville in 1964. Of course, the elected officials here are primarily Khmer people first, but now there are also Chinese people and a small community of foreigners. Chinese people come here to work. Foreign communities come here for tourism and exploration. Sihanoukville is an important seaport where many such activities take and simultaneously serves as a gateway for criminal organizations. This is one of Cambodia's most sensitive locations, helping Cambodia connect with international markets, while facilitating criminal gangs to link with foreign groups and carry out fraudulent activities. Why does this situation occur? Because of casinos, real estate, and the city of gambling addicts. That is another nickname for Sihanoukville. Sihanoukville has become the center of Cambodia's gambling industry, thanks to the strong development of this sector. The city has attracted a large number of investors and workers, especially from China. Such gambling centers have sprung up everywhere, attracting thousands of Chinese people to live and work. It not only serves tourists, but also serves as a base for criminal gangs involved in gambling and money laundering. Speaking of investment from China, Sihanoukville truly receives massive investment capital. Data from various years has been published. According to estimates, over 90% of development projects in Sihanoukville originate from China. Most of this money is poured into hotel construction projects, resorts and gambling facilities in Sihanoukville. If you take a tour around the city, a few years ago there were over 70 casinos, and this number has increased. They have been built or are under construction, and mostly owned by Chinese people. Gambling entertainment areas have spread up rapidly like mushrooms after transforming Sihanoukville from a peaceful coastal tourist city into a massive gambling center. Besides legal establishments, there are countless illegal online operations run by Chinese people. These activities generate a huge underground cash flow and attract the involvement of criminal gangs from China, as this is a lucrative opportunity. The explosion of casinos and investment projects has attracted a large number of Chinese people to live and work. According to statistics, since 2019 there have been over 200,000 Chinese people living in Sihanoukville, while the local population at that time was only about 160, meaning Chinese people even outnumber the locals, outnumbering even Cambodians. Not only are they numerous, but the central city areas have been almost completely dominated by Chinese. Over 90% of businesses in Sihanoukville are now owned by Chinese people, including shops, restaurants, karaoke bars, hotels, and grocery stores. This makes Cambodian people feel like they're living on Chinese soil, rather than in their own homeland. This place resembles a massive construction, as Chinese projects are everywhere. As of 2019, there were over 1,000 construction projects in this city either invested in or built. And of course, 5 years later when this video was made, that number had increased significantly. These could be skyscrapers, luxury resorts, hotels, and major transportation projects. In just a few years, Sahanic will transform from a small coastal town into a giant construction site. The number of construction projects is so large that the city's infrastructure cannot keep. Roads are frequently congested. Water and electricity services are over. The development speed is too fast for local authorities to handle. With such a large number of Chinese, and many being illegal or engaged in illegal businesses, the security situation in Sahanic has become extreme, more complex than ever before. According to Cambodian police report, crime rates involving Chinese nationals has skyrocketed in recent years. For example, in 2019 alone, over 1,000 cases involving Chinese criminals were uncovered, from human trafficking, online scams, to kidnapping and even worse. Chinese criminal gangs have taken advantage of the laxity in Cambodia's legal system to operate vigorously. They run online scam operations, even forcing immigrant workers from China and Vietnam to participate in illegal activity. What do Cambodian people think? They feel pushed out of their own land. Land prices in Sahanic have some areas increasing up to 10 times in just a few. This makes it difficult for local Cambodians to buy property, and many are forced to sell their homes to Chinese for profit. Moreover, with so many Chinese business owners, Cambodian people even struggle to find jobs. Most management positions are held by Chinese. From managers to service staff are also Chinese. Local residents report that even daily services, like restaurants and cafes, mainly serve Chinese customers, from menus to staff using Chinese language. In summary, Sahanic is a typical example of China's influence in Cambodia, and particularly the influence of mafia and criminal groups. With over 90% of development projects invested, hundreds of thousands of Chinese residents and dozens of casinos emerging, Sahanic is now a playground for Chinese, and partly for criminals. Although this brings many economic benefits, the accompanying consequences are from the increasing crime situation and to local people being pushed to the margins of having to live in the shadow of a land where Chinese characters are present, right on their own homeland. Thank you for your interest in following this story. Let's explore new things together. Don't hesitate to leave your feedback, and we bid you farewell.